So
Possibly.
that's the focus for today. It's just yourself on the Zoom room. There's a few autopilots and autopilots and recorders and things. So hopefully a few more might drop in. This is going live to LinkedIn and also live to YouTube as well. But yeah, thanks for joining us. This is week 6 of a shorter series. It's 10-week program. So this is week 6. And we're looking at scheduling tools today. So kind of the ins and outs of scheduling and setting those appointments, and it's done around kind of the LinkedIn lead gen side of what we do. So on the agenda, let me just share my screen so you can keep up with me as well. Share screen, there we go. So we've got a bit of an introduction and welcome. We're going to look at the importance of appointment setting and scheduling. We'll also look at Calendly, because I believe Calendly is a really good free solution that can help you out with your appointment setting. And then I'll show you kind of behind the scenes in terms of how I work with some other tools to set appointments. Calendly used to be my go-to solution, but I've kind of since outgrown it and using another tool now, which works just as effectively and saves me a bit of money. There's we'll go through some Q&As as well at the end of the session. The session's typically about 45 minutes long. Given there's only kind of yourself on the call, if that's how it stays, then it might be a bit of a shorter session. But here to support you and help you in any aspect of lead gen, scheduling, digital marketing, whatever wherever you're currently at. So quick introduction. I know you've been on a masterclass before, Emma, but just want to kind of welcome you again. It's great to have you with us, and welcome to those that are tuning in on LinkedIn Live, also on the YouTube channel, which is where these get recorded to. So today, I just want to share with you some insights into kind of scheduling as well. So we'll do that in a moment, but just a quick intro. So I'm your host, Alex Smith. I've been the founder of Leadeth for just over 3 years now, and it came as a bit of a COVID kind of venture, really. I was in a sales role, and part of the role was commission only, and I had to go out in person, face to face, meeting with business owners in my local region. And obviously, COVID hit. I was unable to go to do that. So I thought, gosh, this is going to be a little bit tricky. People weren't answering phones anymore. It was a nightmare. So I thought there's got to be a smarter solution out there that allows us to connect with business owners, small business owners in the area. And I turned to LinkedIn as a platform, as a way of doing that. Some people call it social selling. Some people call it, it's basically just marketing to people through a social media like LinkedIn, using digital messages and videos and creating content. So so that came about, and then I ended up managing it for 20 other reps for the organization, who are all like me, commission-based reps. And that's how Leadeth was born, really. And now it became a service to the masses. Currently, we have about 45 clients using the platform. And we've built up a community of around about 111, I think, the school community sits at. And that's a place where people can come in and learn about LinkedIn, lead generation, and digital marketing, sales, all that kind of side of the business, which I enjoy. So today's masterclass, we're looking at appointment setting, scheduling like a pro, how to use these skills to generate you more leads, close more deals for your business. So if you're a small business owner or a sales professional, or anyone just looking to improve their lead generation efforts, these masterclasses are just kind of really vital, really, to get some foundations in place in your business, so you can have the knowledge, have the tools that you need to kind of take certainly your appointment setting and scheduling to the next level. So today we're going to focus on, as I say, the importance of effective appointment setting, in certainly with an aspect to generating leads and closing more deals. We're going to look at strategies for identifying the right sorts of prospects, to setting up those appointments that convert, and how to use tools like appointment scheduling tools like Calendly, which we'll look at, to streamline that whole process and save you time and money. We'll look at best practices for automation workflows, so setting up those automatic automations, so reducing the number of no-shows and things like that. We'll dive into that as well. So let's get started. And where does this all fit in with the grand picture? So this is the Leadeth Pro roadmap. So this is the kind of the journey that I take my kind of done for you. And in fact, some of my done with you clients also take this journey as well, where I coach them through the program. So we've got a database of over 350 million verified work emails and over 750 data-enriched prospects that are mapped to LinkedIn profiles. So that gives us a bit of a competitive edge, because before we even going out to connect with people on LinkedIn, we kind of have a lot of their personal details, and we can actually connect to them faster because we've got their email. We can connect to them via LinkedIn and email, and maybe a phone call if that's part of your process. So identifying the target audience is made a breeze because we have that data. The next stage 2, we look at basically aligning your personal LinkedIn profile to your audience. So when your audience clicks on your LinkedIn profile, they know exactly what's going on. They know what you're about, what the problems are that you solve, how you can help them. There's no doubt over whether they want to connect with you or not, because it should be quite clear. That will kind of whittle out a lot of the time wasters, because you're quite clear in your messaging there. The third step is LinkedIn outreach, and that's where we leverage over 2,000 LinkedIn touch points. We've got an automated data-enriched multi-channel sequencing software, which will connect with your target audience on autopilot whilst you're busy doing your whatever you do, day-to-day delivery or customer service. So this just runs in the background. So you have some really nice, credible, warmed up leads ready to start talking to, whether that's a booking in the diary for an appointment, or whether it's into a funnel for a lead magnet. Like there's so many these different lead magnets these days, ebooks, webinars, all these different kind of things to get people interested about your business. We actually use AI quite heavily, and we use the AI to generate bespoke videos quite often, and intros, icebreaker intros. And the purpose of those is to really improve that connection rate. So we're seeing lots of people. Most clients on average see around about a 50% connection rate currently within campaigns. So if we're putting out 100 invites per week within the kind of LinkedIn guidelines, you'd expect your audience, your first degree network, to grow by 50 prospects per week. So that's 200 a month. So, putting yourself out there, 200 more people being added to your network. I'm typically seeing a 30% response rate, so reply rate. So out of those 200 a month, you could expect about 60 people to actually respond to you. And then it's down to you in terms of conversion and getting meetings from those people. Some people have say a 10% conversion rate is good. I'm currently operating around about 33%. So in terms of the number of meetings I have and closing deals, I'm pretty pleased with that. So that's a little bit more about kind of stage 3, your outreach automation piece. Stage 4, week 4, we looked at the following, the follow-up process, a warm email to the new LinkedIn connection. And that really helps, just kind of helps build that relationship and add a bit of credibility and just to kind of kickstart the relationship, really. Because some people just aren't responsive on LinkedIn. You'll send out 3 or 4 messages and you don't get a response to them. Whereas if the conversation switches to a different medium, like email, or even an email through LinkedIn, which we call an in-mail, then that improves more. There's more opportunity basically for you. Stage 5, last week, we looked at video content marketing, and that was very much all about having we call it a 13-week cycle of content, 1 post every day for 13 weeks, which works into quarters quite nicely. Video content is really powerful, so that's why that one says video content marketing. But even if you can only do the odd poll or the odd post, that's really going to help, because content is king, and it's going to increase your visibility and your influence as a kind of leader within your industry if you've got that kind of content strategy going alongside the outreach strategy. And then stage 6, the final process, is just making sure now we've kind of got this lead machine up and running, is we need to make sure that every single prospect is pushed to, the final stage. So those really highly qualified leads are going into your calendar at the times that work for you. So email automation follow-ups and SMS really kind of just more touch points with the prospect to kind of reassure them in this sales process. That'll also help kind of reduce those no-shows as well. And you want to basically maximize out your conversion rate, so meetings to sales. So having those systems in place will really help. Before we move on to this next step, Emma, have you got a scheduling tool that you use currently?
Not at the moment. No, we don't.
No. Okay. And how large is the organization in terms of the team size, or is it just one person doing all the sales, or what's it look like?
So there's me, my marketing manager, and my brand marketing manager, and we make all the calls to set the first appointments for the sales teams, so they can have the discovery meetings with the customers. So we just work out of Outlook and the
Yeah.
sales team's calendars at the moment. I know we have discussed possibly letting the customer choose when they can select an appointment in the diary, but it's just being talked about at the minute rather than
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
actually been
yeah.
set in
Well,
place.
hopefully some of the stuff we'll run through will give you some of the ideas around, why it might be beneficial to look at that. And when you start to automate these processes, everything becomes just a bit more slicker. And we'll dive into it, and you'll see. So here's a quick stat: 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after the initial contact. It's quite a large stat that. I kind of shy away from the telephone quite a lot, and I kind of have just lived as a kind of digital nomad, sending DMs and emails, and but the times that I have jumped on the phone with a prospect have actually been quite, you think, oh, it wasn't that bad. It's actually okay, just to pick up the phone and chat to someone, and if the time's okay for them and they can take the call, then great. But a lot of sales representatives often give up after that initial first no, and potentially that's a lot of business they're losing out on. That stat came from somewhere called Marketing Donut Online. There's another one here from Hootsuite. Hootsuite manufacturers of this super cool scheduling social media software, but they state that 78% of salespeople engaging in social selling outperform their peers. So what this stat is talking about is that, people that are using LinkedIn and other tools to engage with their prospects are really kind of flying high. 78% is a huge advantage. So we need to leverage certainly LinkedIn if we want to be generating more sales for our businesses. So as a small business owner, you probably realize that your time is very valuable. Even if you're kind of working for a business, time is critical. Everyone's talking about productivity and making sure you're getting the max out of your time. So to make every single minute count, we need an effective appointment setting process and scheduling system. And this is basically the process of managing your calendar and booking appointments with potential clients, or it could be customers even. So you can just start to focus on what you do best, which is running your business. So if you're not currently managing your appointments or scheduling effectively, you're going to be missing out on a lot of potential sales and revenue. So based on those stats, those number of touch points and things, you might get into the situation where you end up double booking appointments. Certainly if you're working in a bigger team, that could be more of an issue. Or it could be you've just, not seen the reminder, you've got busy and you've forgotten about meetings. And that's obviously going to really damage the reputation and potentially cause you some loss of business. So an effective appointment setting system and scheduling system is going to help you to improve your productivity. Certainly I feel a lot less stressed now. If you have a look at my calendar, I've just got it open here. I've got probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different, events on the calendar. I do a 4-day week, which gives me a bit of breathing space on midweek on a Wednesday, which is quite nice. But every day is pretty rammed. And even if I go back probably, a year or so, my calendar was looking very similar. So I'm mindful that the Lord has blessed us with a finite amount of time. So I need to really maximize the time and efficiency with what we're doing. So the way we do that is by kind of introducing this process to schedule, and that really helps us to stay track of everything, know exactly what's coming up next. So some of the common challenges that businesses often face is finding the right tools and software to manage their calendar appointments. It's a bit of a minefield if you start to look into it. There's so many different things out there that you can, some are free, some you can pay for. We're going to dive into some of those tools, and I'm going to show you some places where you can find scheduling tools as well. Obviously, another issue is dealing with the no-shows or last-minute cancellations. Having a system that captures those no-shows and reaches out to the prospects to reschedule with them. If that could all be done on autopilot, that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money because you're not having to chase up manually. If you're working with clients abroad or overseas, then obviously managing time zones can be a real nightmare. Recently, we've just had clocks go back, and I think America kind of follow after a week or 2 weeks after us, and that little kind of daylight saving time thing causes a big problem. People be rocking up an hour early, or you'll be rocking up an hour late, or something like that, and it's just really frustrating. Certainly, if you're looking to scale your business internationally and you're having a lot of these calls over the seas, and then yeah. So a scheduling system basically presents your calendar in the native time zone for that user, which is really critical. So it could just be you're struggling to find the time to manage these appointments alongside all your other business tasks. So these are the what I kind of found to be the common problems that a lot of businesses are currently facing. So in the next section, we're going to just quickly look at some of the ways we can overcome these challenges. So how you can kind of set up an appointment system and start to schedule with a pro, like a pro with stuff like Calendly. So this is Calendly. Just going to bring it up in a new window. Calendly.com. There's no affiliate links here or anything. They don't have an affiliate program. So it's just a great tool. I've been using Calendly for probably around about 4 years or so. And then I've kind of moved away to a more enhanced scheduling tool. But I was a paid Calendly user for around about 3 years. Just accept the cookies. So yeah, you go to calendly.com, you can sign up with a free account. If you've got Google or Gmail, you can use those accounts to sign in as well. I'm just going to sign in with my my main account, just to give you a bit of a flavor of what's going on with Calendly. So Calendly basically presents your calendar in a way that other people can see your availability. That's the kind of key purpose of the software. And if I just take you to my Calendly booking page, you'll start to get an understanding of what it's all about. So the thing is, because everybody knows about Calendly, or a lot of people know what it is, it's a scheduler, they see it as a safe website to click on. And that obviously will help with getting those appointments, because they recognize Calendly as oh, I know what it's all about. It's a way of booking in with someone or getting an appointment or having a calendar. So I'm currently on the free version. I've kind of downgraded and switched to another platform, which is why I've got the advertising banner at the top. But the paid versions, you wouldn't have Calendly. So typically you would come into a page like this. So this is what I have. I have just a 15-minute catch-up call availability. And I'm going to show you how this is all set up in the background in a moment. But you get presented with you can brand it up with your company logo. You can give the events a title. So when they hit your calendar, you know exactly what those events are called. And the prospect can basically see your availability quite clearly. So as I say, I only do a 4-day week, which is why Wednesdays are carved out. They can go ahead. I think it's up to 2 months I've set this one. So this will do 2 months into the future. There we go. And it drops off at 11th of January. And the idea is they can just choose a slot that works well with them. They can click on the date and they can see all the availability times when I'm free. They can click a slot that works with them. And then they just fill in their first name, their last name, their email address. They've then got an option here where they can add someone else to the meeting, which is really cool, up to 10 additional guests. So they just add their email and they'll get notified as well. what sort of meeting is it? Is it a Zoom meeting? So if it's a Zoom meeting, it'll automatically send all the Zoom links. So that's always a bit of a pain if you're new to kind of doing a lot of virtual meetings, is generating these Zoom links. So if you can do it on autopilot, it's just a real big time saver. And you know everyone's got the link, everyone's going to turn up in the right place. And it also supports phone calls and also supports in-person, face-to-face meetings. If you meet at a coffee shop or something, you can get the prospect to choose a location where they want to meet you. So that's what the client sees, that slick front end form. So a lot of people embed these forms within their websites these days, and it's a great way of capturing the lead and capturing the prospect. So if we go over into the back end now of, just going to show you this invalid password. Can't get into it. Pretty sure I haven't changed my password. Let's see if I can log in. Just see if I can sort this issue out to get into it. I was in it earlier, which is a bit annoying. Okay, I'll get a recovery email and I will just get that sorted. Bear with me. Sorry about this. Just waiting for my email to come through to say, hey up, this is your password. Yeah, password reset instructions have come through. So I'll just get that sorted. TikTok, TikTok. Come on. Just inputting a new password. No need for symbols, digits, or uppercase letters. It's all fun and games, this. Sorry about that. So hopefully we'll be in now. There we go. So this is the back end of Calendly, the application where we set up the calendar. The first thing we need to do is connect it to our calendar. So whether you've got an organizational calendar or a personal calendar, you can connect all of those. It works with Google Workspace. It works with Outlook. It works with quite a lot of different calendar options. First thing we come to is what we call the event types. So if you actually want to set up the calendar, if you're coming in first time, it's just here under calendar sync. And that's where you can then connect to a calendar. So the free version lets you connect up to one calendar. If you pay $12 a month, you can actually connect it up to multiple Google calendars, which is really cool. So I used to have 3 different calendars connected, and then you tell it which calendar you actually want to put the appointments in. So it's actually checking for conflicts on multiple calendars with the paid version. So you can add those calendars here, and the options are, Google calendars, Outlook calendars, all the different kind of typical calendars that you would use. You can also go into the integrations and set up Google tracking things as well, if you really want to get dive into the data of where that traffic's coming from to your Calendly page. And then setting up the actual calendars is pretty straightforward. You call, basically, you have what are called event types. So event types are the different types of events that you have running. So I used to have one for my onboarding calls, one for my strategy calls, one for online demos, which were a bit shorter. I even had a face-to-face option. It was an in-person meeting where they could specify a location as well. So I used to use that when I did a bit more proactive networking. So we're just going to look at this one that I showed you earlier, which was the catch-up call. It's just a 15-minute event type, which we've got set up. And within this, you basically work down the settings on the side here. It gives you a preview of what that looks like, and that's the live page, which I showed you earlier. So we can click on event details, give it the name. We can also assign a different color. You can choose a color for it. You specify how long you want that meeting to be, and you specify the location, and that's where we connect it up to your Zoom account. We can also choose, if we use Google Meets or some other platform, we can add that into the mix. The more platforms you include, I mean, some people prefer Teams, which is fine. I've not got Microsoft Teams integrated, so that won't work for me, but certainly I could offer Google Meet as an option. You can give it a description, and then you save and close and move on to the next thing in the options. So with the duration, Calendly is quite clever because you can actually specify a buffer. So you can specify a 15-minute gap between the meetings, which is really helpful because it gives you that breathing space. You've got an option here to allow them to add guests. If you don't want them to have any guests, you can do that as well. Within the scheduling settings, this is where you specify how many days into the future. So mine is set currently 2 months. So 2 months ahead they can book in. That's probably a bit generous. I probably should bring that down a little bit, but it's fine. You can also specify your availability hours, and you can put in some preset hours when you typically work. So I've actually got this schedule set up here. I do Monday to Friday, some later starts some mornings, and then I kind of have some earlier finishes on a couple of days as well when I'm doing school runs and things. Wednesdays I have carved out anyway, so it doesn't matter that Wednesday's on there because I actually carve it out with a big appointment in the diary. So you can be really flexible about putting in the times that you want. And as I say, you can specify this buffer time. So if you want a bit of a buffer before your event, you can specify, I need 10 minutes to prepare for my meeting. So you can actually add that in. So it won't let them book a meeting unless there's a buffer gap for that. And after the event, so if it spills over, you might want to buffer a 15-minute gap after the meeting as well. And that just kind of reduces the number of calendar slots and the availability. You can also set a minimum notice. So that's how soon can they book in with you. So obviously having that, if you've got some last minute appointments that have just been freed up because somebody's cancelled, that's quite nice because it gives a quick opportunity for someone to hop on a call with you. And then you don't want to get Zoom fatigue. So you can actually specify daily limits. So how many of these calls do you want in one day? You can max this out and say, right, don't book more than 3 a day. I don't want to be doing more than 3. That's great. So mine's currently set on 4 because they're just short quarter of hour type meetings. But obviously, if you reduce that to maybe just 1 a day, the number of slots on the calendar reduces because there's less availability for those. Time zone. So yeah, by default, you can use the prospect's time zone, or you can lock the time zone. If you're doing in-person events, that's where it comes in helpful. And you can specify the time increments. What time do you want those meeting availabilities to start on the calendar? And I've got 15-minute slots for mine. So it gives you so much flexibility in terms of managing what you're doing there. In terms of booking the event, so you can give it, you add basically a short 15-minute, and that adds 15-minute to create this event link page. What are the questions that you want to ask people? So it might be that you want a qualifying question in here. So one of the ones that I used to ask is, what's your LinkedIn? What's your LinkedIn URL? Often I use this thing to catch up with existing clients, so I don't ask that question. But if it was a lead generation form, we could then start to probe the prospect and ask them some questions and make them fill that out. Obviously, the more things that there are for people to fill out, that increases the amount of friction and the less likelihood they're going to want to fill out lots and lots of long forms. So I go for the simplistic approach, just first name, last name, email, get the basics from them. And if you pay £12 a month, you can actually get their mobile number and set up text message alerts and things like that, which are really cool. You could, if you've got, if you charge out your time, you can actually even collect payments. So this actually integrates with Stripe. Stripe is and PayPal are kind of 2 big known payment gateways. So you can actually charge, once they book the appointment, you can actually get them to charge money. So if you're running maybe a beauty salon and you wanted to, offer out slots for treatments, you could take the money up front for those slots, which is really, really powerful feature. So after they've booked, where do you want to send them? So you could actually send them to a custom link. So it could be a web page on your website, giving them more information about the meeting that's coming up. Or you could just display a default calendar page, which comes on its own. And then you've got the communication. So these are the powerful automation flows that you can set up. So you can set up an email. So as soon as they've booked with you, You can give it a title. You can also go in and specify more information, and you can specify timings of when you want these messages to go out. If you've got a cancellation policy, that can go in as well. So you can really start to create these amazing workflows that follow up with people after the event. So you can set up an email follow-up, which is quite powerful. That's just a message to say, hey, thanks for attending the meeting. If you've got any other further questions, just reach out to me. And that's another touch point, which is done automatically on your part. And these emails typically go from Calendly's email server. So in terms of deliverability, they're really good. So yeah, that's a kind of whistle-stop tour at what you can achieve with Calendly. Yeah, any questions on that, Emma? Was that helpful?
No, my only question was about the Teams thing, but you answered that as you was going through it, so that was good, and
Yes,
it was helpful. Yeah, I can see the benefits, like because our customers, it's quite a big project that we're trying to sell to them, so it takes up a lot of their time, and they're really busy, and they're like, yes, we know we need to do it, but we don't just have the time to do it. So if they know they do need to call us and they do need to speak to us, at least if they've got a calendar in the appointment and not forgot about it and just pushing it away, it's already there in the calendar scheduled, and hopefully we can get a conversation with them and start the process going then for the project.
That's right. Yeah. And that's the key thing. It's to kind of reduce those no-shows and those last-minute cancellations as much as you can. So by getting them to kind of maybe confirm their attendance, often some people do that. Those automated reminders just leading up to the meeting are really going to help you with, making sure people show up. And it in the Calendly stats, it measures all that for you. So if you go to, you can actually tag people if they've not shown up or if they have shown up. So it's under reporting here. I think the paid versions have it. It's called analytics, but I can't see it on mine at the moment. But that gives you the kind of the breakdown of all the events that have been booked. So if you go to scheduled events, I can only see a limited amount, but obviously you could see everything that's going up. So if you go to past events, that's where you can start to see a list of all the different types of events. You can export this out as a CSV and then start to maybe probe on those events and find out who you had meetings with. And so that's a very, very awesome feature.
Yeah.
So if you're just let Christian in the room. So if you're looking for scheduling software, a great go-to website, which I'll share on the after notes, is g2.com. G2.com is basically a software comparison website. So if you're after scheduling or appointment setting, you can type that in the search here. Just click accept all on that one. Try it again. Scheduling gets as far as the eye, and then it goes a bit. Doesn't let me type anymore. There we go. Appointment might be a better keyword to type in there. So we've basically got, you can sort them by the relevance, the popularity, the rating, what users rate these software. So if you just want to see the top ones, you click the 5-star ratings. And if you go to online appointment scheduling, which is what we're looking at today, that will give you a bit of an overview of lots of different tools out there. But what's really helpful is actually when you go into one of these, you can actually see it where it sits in terms of the grid of all the other software tools. So this one sits in, just trying to find the category for it. Where are we? Explore. It's more of an AI tool, this one. All categories. Sorry, morning, Christian. Good to see you. You're muted and I can't lip read. You might have audio issues. I don't know. You're still muted, but yeah. Let's search for Calendly and then look at maybe some comparisons to Calendly on here. So g2.com.
Sorry, morning, Alex. It's I've got COVID, so
Oh dear.
yeah, it's I'm on day 3, and day 3 is slight improvement, which is good.
Come back to haunt. I don't think I've never tested positive for COVID, but I can imagine it's not very pleasant.
It's not brilliant, no.
So yeah, we're just talking about this G2 website here for comparing software tools if you're in the market for scheduling software. We've just done a quick demo of the Calendly tool. And I just wanted to show you some of the big players to look for. So here we go. Under the categories here, you've got business scheduling, online appointment scheduling as a category. Normally, when you click on those categories, that's when you get to see all the other tools that are in this space. Calendly's great. It's got a plugin for Google as well, so it really integrates nicely with your emails if you're using Google Mail. So we can sort by segment. So if you're a small business and you just want to see software tools that are more relevant to a smaller business, we can drill that down. And then we can also sort by the ratings. So this full grid here, this gives you what's going on in the small sector space. So you can see Calendly are one of the kind of leaders, and you can see this is Acuity scheduling, one of the up and coming contenders. Setmore, a few other tools here. YouCanBookMe.com. Obviously making great strides, but yeah, so lots of different tools out there to check out. This one here, TinyCal, I think. Oh no, that's Zoho Booking. So Zoho have got quite a powerful tool set of software, and they're doing quite well in the booking space as well. So yeah, the g2.com website, if you're looking for software, it's always a great place to see, what's everybody using currently, what's trending, read some of the reviews and see if it fits in with kind of what you're doing. So just going behind the scenes now with kind of what we're doing at Leadeth and how we're using it. We're actually using a tool called High Level, and High Level is it's a Calendly booking tool, an email marketing tool. It's a CRM. It's kind of like one of these one tool that does everything. The only thing it doesn't do is LinkedIn outreach. So with Leadeth, we've got our own tool that does the LinkedIn outreach. We actually hook it up to High Level. But I just want to show you how we've got the calendars set up in High Level super quickly. So if you go to, just going to log into my Go High Level account. Let's close some of these down and it might speed it up. So it works very similarly to the way Calendly works, except it creates the pages, a different calendar page for whatever you want, and then you can integrate that calendar page within your data flow, and then the responses to the completed data flow are basically then pushed through an automation process. So it's it's a really powerful tool. So if we go to automations, firstly I'll show you the calendars. So you've got a calendar section here, and we can go to calendar settings. And that's where we configure, like Calendly, you would have the events in Calendly, whereas in Go High Level, it's just laid out a little bit different. So this is where we would create an event. They call it a calendar. So I've got all my different events, the timings of those events, and if I had a bigger team and more people to take the calls, great. So I can bring on another user quite easily, and suddenly that will open up a lot more availability for me. So for example, I've got what I call my strategy session calls. These are the calls that I have with prospects who want to dive in a bit deeper. So you can come in here, you can specify the logo, give it a title, description, give it a short URL so you can get to it quickly. And then you can name the title of the event. You can either optimize it for availability or equal distribution between multiple team members. with me, it's just me. What platform do you want to connect with? So I'm presuming we can hook up Teams in here as well, but Zoom is my kind of go-to for meetings. And then we've got the availability. So a bit like in Calendly, where we can specify when do you want the meetings. We can do that here, specify those availabilities. If it's a recurring meeting, we can turn that on as well. You can turn it into a form and take payment as well. That's all possible with this tool. And you can say, where do you want the notifications to go? So you can also choose where those notifications are being sent to, and any additional emails you want to send the alerts to as well. So typically I just send the notifications to the contact. So that's how we manage the calendars in Go High Level, except what you're not seeing on the back end is we've got automations. So automations are what really unlock a scheduler. They allow us to really start to ramp up communication with the prospect. And on the back of this, we can then, if somebody's booked an appointment, we can say, right, go and send them a LinkedIn message to say, thank you for booking an appointment and stuff like that. And that's really cool. So for example, we've got, this is the automation, which we have currently running for my 1 hour call, 45-minute calls that I have with prospects who are interested in Leadif. They come into the start of this funnel. We tag them. So we tag them that they've booked a call and it's a strategy call. So we know exactly, how it's got there. We remove any of the previous tags, and we probably should remove the previous tags earlier. So actually, I've just noticed that. So I'm actually putting a tag on, then I'm taking it off. But first you want to take the tag off rather than, so if I'm going to move that at the front end. So yeah, remove any tags and then add the tags. In case they've previously booked a session, if that makes sense. And then what we're doing is we're building out a process that ultimately creates an opportunity, estimates a value, and we can put in, where that opportunity came about if that's necessary for this particular calendar. And then one day before, they get the email, and the email is just to kind of touch base with them, make it look super personalized, give them some links, give them some details, really prep them for the call. And that's going to obviously reduce the no-shows. And then we've got the 1 hour before, and that 1 hour before is just a step where we just say, hey, reach out to them with a friendly SMS, give them my email address, just to let them know the Zoom link's in the inbox. And that's a beautiful little reminder just to make sure they turn up. And then they've also got the email again with the Zoom link. And if something's cropped up, they've got an option here to reschedule, and that allows them to then reschedule at another time and date if possible. And then we've got all this process that's been built around what happens, if they're on the outcome of the call. If I've marked them as a customer, after that, then we assign them to a user, and we can actually say, right, start the onboarding process with them. If they've got a decision call booked in, great, just drop them an email and thank them that there's another call in the diary or whatever. And if they've not showed up to the meeting, we want to chase that. So automatically, if they're marked as a no-show now, they'll get another email saying, sorry, you couldn't make the call, blah, 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 blah. Please try and book in again if you can. Check out some of our reviews. And with an SMS follow-up, just to nudge them as well. I'm sorry you couldn't make the strategy call. If you're still keen to explore strategies, then it's great when you do this, because you actually get to reread what you've put in and you can find the errors. So that's kind of my internal workflow for, and if you haven't marked them, they go into a long, monthly email system, which they can opt out if they want to, but it's basically to nudge and nurture the relationship with a long-term warm-up process. So that's kind of how I've implemented the calendar and the automations to really kind of max out what you're doing. Yeah. Any questions? Any answers? Any questions? That all made sense. Yeah.
I'm going to jump in with it just quickly. We're about to take on something called Gold Vision.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that one.
No, I haven't.
Essentially, what it's going to allow us to do, from what I've seen of it, is it's a new CRM tool that will patch into our Hire Hot for quotes and things like that. But apparently, it's going to manage our CRM a lot better than we have been managing it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what that does, and then see whether we can patch in some of the stuff you've just been talking about. And of course, because I've missed half of it this morning, I shall be looking at it again later on.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Just to go running through, you obviously kind of recognize the importance of calendar scheduling and appointment setting as a core business process, which is great. So it's a lot of clients, it's small business owners or consultants, and they've got an empty calendar and they're trying to get appointments, and then they're suddenly floundering in meetings, and then they're not showing up for the meetings. So part of this training is to kind of support them and help them in terms of understanding the importance of, doing it properly and having the meeting in the diary and having the reminders set up, because it really does help. So
I really like that idea of, once you've got a prospect of some description, it will constantly nudge you to make sure you're in touch with them and keeping because I'm the events industry is probably one of the worst for it, because you're busy looking at new customer situations for a period of time, and then all of a sudden a load of work comes in, everybody's then managing it, and you forget about all your prospects. You just do. So it's good to do that. Very good idea.
Yeah, for sure. No, any industry really, you get busy and things get missed off and forgotten about quite easily. But it's good. So we're currently week 6. We've been looking at scheduling. Next week we're moving on to a web lead goldmine. So that's next Tuesday morning, 21st November. We're going to look at how you can kind of leverage your website a bit more for lead generation, really. So looking at kind of lead magnets, forms, call to actions. That's that'll be quite a nice session. If you've got a website and it's been idle for a couple of years, you could be a wasted opportunity potentially. There could be some quick fixes that you can do on that website to really help it to bring in a lot more leads for you. So that's the session coming up then next week. Feel free to go to leadeth.io/masterclass. That will then give you a web form down here, which is, go high level form. Fill out the form, and that will send you an email and the Zoom link, which you need to join the Zoom session so you can be a part of the discussion. So you've got 6 days to get booked onto that. We've also got a LinkedIn lead generation community that we've built, leadeth.io. If you just click on the community button on the website, that will take you to our school page. So the school page has got we've got 111 members so far in the community, all sorts of discussion, all sorts of chat going on in there. So feel free to join it. It's free for you to kind of get along to the community and take part in the discussions. You'll also get access to some of the courses that we run. So we've actually got some training videos and some support materials there that you can look at in the classroom. I'll just quickly show you those. All these masterclasses that I've been running since January, we've actually recorded all of these, and there's a back repository of these available here under Lead Generation Masterclass. Then clients that are currently using my services can also see all the client drop-in sessions. We've got a bit of a calendar going on, all sorts of appointments and things going on. Notably, we've got a LinkedIn link up, which is our speed networking, 30 minutes on Thursday late morning, afternoon, 11 o'clock. That's an opportunity for you to kind of basically be a giver, give out some kind of free value add to the community, whatever that might look like, whether it's a free ebook, a free consultation, or just whatever that is. Come along, give it away, and make some friends and meet some of the Leadeth community. So that's an opportunity that's coming up at the end of the month, and we're going to hopefully run those link up sessions every single week. Bit of a leaderboard going on there. So to get to the link up sessions, you do need to hit level 2, and it's very easy to work your way up these levels. You just got to be active in the discussion community and chat about what you're working on, where you might need help. All these guys are here to kind of support you and help you. So that's the Leadeth community. It's completely free. You can join it, school.com/leadeth or leadeth.io/school will take you to that. That's everything from me this week. As I say, if you do want a strategy call, as I say, I've got a couple couple of those available, I think, next week. So I might have one or two next week. Head over to the Leadith website and just click the book demo button in the top corner there. That will take you to the booking form where we can schedule some time, put some time in the calendar. You'll get some notifications. You've learned how I do that. So be good to see you on a strategy call. Don't bring a credit card or anything like that. It's just pure added value. So I can help you and support you more and give you a bit of strategy around LinkedIn. But that's everything for today. Thanks very much. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
Yep. Take care. Cheers,
And you,
Christian.
bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. Cheers. Take care. Have a good day.